Hello and welcome to the very first segment. It's actually a collab, my first collab too. I am Serenity, your host, with Lauren, Burke and Janae Jefferson. They are both seniors on the Texas softball team. Hello.
Hi. Thanks for
Is this how it's going to be the whole interview?
Might be in sync, yeah.
And that's fine. Okay, tell me what each of you guys' positions are first.
Okay, I play second base.
Mm-hmm.
I play kind of everywhere, wherever Coach White puts me. Utility.
Okay. Yeah. Utility. Yeah. But you like to be called
a hitter. I like to hit. Defense is not my specialty. That is all Janae.
Okay, so that's where you guys like vary a little bit. You guys are pretty much teaching me more and more about softball. Like I know it just to the eyes view, but I wouldn't know anything like technicalities. So you guys got to explain it to me. Like,
well,
so, yeah.
I think it's different with Janae and I because Janae is a great defender and also a great hitter. So she has both of the skills. I just am a little better at only one rather than both. She's just kind of the greatest. So
we'll teach you the football slang when we get further into our segment.
Thank you. That's what I need, honestly, the slang in it. Because when I was doing notes about you guys, I was like, I'm sorry, it says IF. It doesn't say whatever you just said. And for Lauren, it says UTL. But now all of a sudden y'all are saying that there's different terms for that. We'll get into it. It's fine. But I just wanted to start this off as a get to know you guys, especially for the YouTube channel, because they've just been seeing football faces so far. And it's really good to see like the women athletics starting to come through a little bit. And because you guys have a scrimmage on Saturday, correct?
Yes.
Please tell me that's okay.
Well, October 2nd is our first fall scrimmage.
You literally said September 19th.
We were supposed to, but the other team had to reschedule. I think they rescheduled just because of illnesses.
Okay. So at least my records aren't wrong. So I'm not embarrassed. It's fine. Well, firstly, what do you guys hope to gain from the NIL deal? Like just besides from Orangebloods, when this was first announced, because you guys are both seniors, so you knew life without NIL deals and making money with name, image, and likeness. What were you guys hoping to get from it as soon as it was passed?
I think that with NIL, it's been the most beneficial with like learning about life skills. I would always say I go to college and I'm not learning how to do my taxes. I'm not learning how to negotiate, how to read contracts. So I think that ultimately I've learned life skills that I'm going to take with me so far beyond just this 1 year of NIL, but learning how to market myself, how to advertise for a company, how to work with agents. I think it's been so nice. And I just feel lucky that we had the opportunity to get 1 more year because of COVID, that we were able to take advantage of NIL. And honestly, I just feel thankful and I'm just excited.
Yeah, I think for me with the whole NIL passing and everything, I really just wanted to get my brand out there and get my name out there more and to market myself really and to just let people know what I'm like outside of softball and just to get to know me off the field. So
I like that you guys are really saying marketing yourself.
Yeah. Because
people don't exactly know what that means. You know, like when I had to explain it to my dad, he was kind of like the NIL deal is going to ruin sports because now they're like professional athletes. And I was just kind of like, don't you understand what you're saying? It was not our own name. Like I could not be Serenity who paints. It was like, no, Serenity, the track athlete who paints. And all that money that I could have gotten from like, I don't know, selling my paintings, it would have to go to the school. Because they looked at it like you're only getting that amount of traction because you are a UT athlete. And then that will block things in terms of like internships. And you're right, Lauren, like trying to just market yourself and trying to just get the experience of even going through contracts, going through branding yourself. And I think that's something that the football players are learning too, especially with their most recent loss, like this past weekend, they've having to do interviews afterwards. I'm like, this is kind of like some NFL type stuff that you're going to have to do eventually. And it's kind of good that we're doing it now. So you can just know, you know, because as soon as you graduate, they just kind of throw you in the deep end and be like, here,
Yeah, it's been nice that we kind of got to start the NIL process before season started. So for the football players, it's like they're going into fall camp. They have so many hours that they're spending on the football field. They can't really learn about it as much. They can't prioritize it too much. And we were off, like we didn't have anything softball related. Yeah. We're just an individual. So that's 8-hour weeks. So we've had a lot of time to learn about it if that's something that we're interested in pursuing. And that's something that's been nice, is having that time, because there are a lot of questions and it is still a lot of unknowns with it all. So just learning and kind of navigating through all of the changes.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's get into who you guys are. That's what I was just really wondering. I told you guys to it's going to feel like you're on a first date, because some of the questions I have just off of the top of my head were very generic. Like I said, I just want to get to know you guys a little bit more. So was softball your first sport?
For me, yes, it was. I started playing when I was 6 years old, and it kind of took on from there. So
catch on as in like you were just good and I'm not going to let this go.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't really remember. I was 6 or 7 when I first started playing softball, and it's the first sport that I remember I loved, but I don't really know if it's the first sport I ever started playing. I know I played like soccer, volleyball.
Oh, okay.
It's growing up, so I don't know if it was the first, but it's definitely the first memorable sport that I played.
There's always one of each, like the one who is like the diehard one. I've been in this from the jump, like the Pee-wee days, whatever. And then there's always the one who's like, yeah, I played everything. And then the one that stuck is just the one that stuck. And this is it. Now all of a sudden I'm in college. But what other sport would you do if you had to choose?
Well, I actually played other sports all through high school. I was a 4-year volleyball player and basketball player and softball player. So
big time.
Did you not want to go through that route?
No. I really felt like in college, like it would have been too much for me to play multiple sports. But yeah, so I was a 3-sport athlete coming out of high school.
What made you choose softball?
I was the best at softball, and I knew my height for volleyball and basketball wouldn't get me far. So yeah, I was the best at softball, really.
Okay. What about you, Lauren?
I played other sports in high school too. I played volleyball and I ran cross country. Still to this day, I look like a loser whenever I'm sprinting. It looks like I'm jogging, and it's because I grew up just running cross country, and that's like not a sprint at all. So I chose softball, just similar to Janae. It was the sport I was best at, sport I had the most potential to get an education because of. And so I just kind of took advantage of that.
What sport in college gets like the best gear? Because I know you guys see it, and the track team used to see it, and we used to be so upset about it.
Yeah.
I would say football.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Football does get good stuff. I would say for their Big 12 gifts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
It's like iPads.
Right. Oh, TV. Like, what?
Yeah. Okay. But I would say when we were there, we thought that the soccer girls always got the best gear, like their leggings and stuff. And it would be really odd because we share a field house with them. Like we share pretty much a locker room with them.
Yeah.
And we're like, why don't we get that? We're on the same level here. But okay, that's besides the point. Without concern to pay or cost or the way anybody would look at you, I love this question. Without concern, what is your dream profession? Like, I would want to do this job. Yeah, it's fine. Think about it.
I was thinking probably like an architect.
Really?
That builds like buildings.
Really?
Some form of art. Just because it would be cool to write down your design or map it out like on a blueprint or something, and then see your structure go up. Like that would be the best feeling in the world for me.
Yeah. Do you major in that right now?
I'm sorry?
Do you major in that right now?
No, I don't, but I'm a minor in studio art. So I'm really big in like the arts and everything. But I feel like it'd be really cool to see your design go up somewhere and like tell your people like I designed that building right there. So
yeah, I get that. I always wonder how that works too. I mean, especially seeing, where the track was, seeing the new arena being built. And right. I'm just like, how do they know that they're not building it backwards? and they're just looking at like a sheet of paper. And like, what if it was held upside down the whole time and they built it wrong? I just don't understand how it just comes together. We've watched it just come together. I do think that's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'd be good at that too.
Yeah.
If I had to choose a job, regardless of pay, I think I would be like a national park guide or like a rafting guide or just something that's outdoorsy. I can just hike or go on a raft all day long, explore national parks, and just get paid to do it. I mean, I think it'd be so fun. I love hiking and just being outside in general. That's something I just enjoy doing in my free time. And so having that be my job, I wish.
Right. I understand that. I like that. I never heard that before. When I first got asked this question, I think I said I want to be like a food taster. Like somebody's paying me to come to their restaurant and eat free food. Like it really doesn't get much better than that. And then you already know that they're really going to kick it up with you because you're the food critic or whatever. And you could go anywhere and just get paid to eat food. Like that doesn't sound like a real profession to me. That's crazy. Yeah, it's a good one. I know. Who is your role model growing up and why?
I think I had different role models for different aspects of my life. Like I have a softball role model. Obviously, my parents are the biggest influence on me, and I think they're my role model for how like to love and, family and all of that. They're definitely my role models as far as that is. But for softball, my role model growing up was Caleb Rowe. She's also from Eugene, which is a pretty small town. Not a lot of softball players come out of Eugene. And she went to Alabama, won a national championship. She was like my mentor. She actually coached me in high school. So she's still to this day, I will reach out to her. She'll send me texts, and she's been one of the best role models for softball. But besides that, definitely my mom and dad.
Yeah, I'd have to say my mom and dad as well. They've been married for so many years, and they're kind of like the icon, like power couple that I look up to. And they've just always been there for me as far as like with softball, traveling so much. I know softball isn't cheap. We all know that. And just, I don't know, just the whole support system really. And just when I'm down, they're always there to support me and things like that. And I would say for the softball stance, it'd probably be Natasha Watley, just because she was the first like African-American softball player that I saw like killing it out there. And I was like, I want to be like her, so yeah, I'd have to say Natasha Watley. She was just amazing superstar growing up.
I love that. I love it. Who on the team just brings the most energy to practice? I really want to know about the team a little bit.
I would say, so I'm in the outfield and she's in the infield, so we might have different opinions on this, but in the outfield, I would say JY brings the most energy. She's dancing, she's talking, she's laughing, she keeps everything so loose and so fun when practice can get intense, and she's always someone that if you want to just have a good time, get a laugh, get a smile in, like you go to JY. And I think our whole team knows that, but I don't know too much on the infield this year, but as far as the outfield is concerned, it's JY all the way.
Yeah, I would definitely say Jordan Whitaker as well.
I could have given her full name.
I was wondering, I was like, JY, that could be Jordan Whittington on the football team. Like,
I'm sure he's great too.
Okay, so JY brings the most energy to practice. I want to know, during like those hard, I don't know if, so we have fall training and we have like workouts. Workouts is just straight, just running. And who is that one on the team where it's like you need to pick them up at least on like the third rep because they're already falling out. They're already like, it's time to go. Who is it?
You got this one.
No. I don't know, really.
I don't know. Our team actually does a really good job of
staying together. Yes.
So I just really feel like y'all just lied to me.
No, I actually I'm being super serious. On the condition test, it's almost always the newcomers that you have to be like, get on the line, let's keep going.
Yeah, like the freshmen, of course. So, yeah.
Our team, though, we do fine.
Yeah.
We do fine. What are some of these workouts consisting of? Like, what is the one where it's like, you did not have to put that on us today?
Definitely change the direction when we do running stuff. So it's basically like suicides, going like cone to cone and back, and things like that. So I feel like sometimes those days could get really hard for us, and where we're like hunched over and things like that. So we have to pick each other up. But yeah, definitely conditioning days could be the worst at times.
I hate that. I literally hate that. I always say, like, I would never do basketball because there's a whole lot of running back and forth. And everybody's like, but you run track. But we have one race and then it's over.
Yeah.
Like, we don't start and stop. And we never do suicides at practice. That's why absolutely not. That sounds like the worst thing. Yeah. Us starting and stopping, it like breaks my momentum every single time. Yeah, no, I'm not a fan. So, episode of Survivor. Who is winning? That's what I want to know. I love that you guys like think about these answers so deep.
Yeah, I watched it like on Netflix.
So on our team, like who would win?
Yeah.
This is kind of like a tactic, right? Like you're like lying to each other sometimes and things like that, right?
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Strategy way.
Mm-hmm. Or I guess you could say like at any point, stranded on an island there. Stranded on an island, who is surviving and who is not on the team?
Oh, I'm surviving for sure.
I would like to say I'm surviving too, but I would also say majority of our team would not make it off of an island by themselves.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, I don't know.
Janae, you think you would make it?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, do you know how to start a fire on your own?
Yeah.
And camp?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And go fishing?
Yeah, I feel like I'm really hands-on in those type of things. Like, I could like spear something, and I feel like I could cook it and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that's wild. Yeah,
you
no.
Do that? Like,
I don't go out in the wilderness. I'm surprised though, Lauren, because you said you like to hike and everything up in the Oregon trees.
That's why I said I would survive totally, but I think I'd go about it with a different strategy. I don't think I'd spear fish and all that. I think I would first go for like, you know, the coconuts and like the stuff that's like not
coconuts.
But I think I would try and build myself a boat and just find someone in the ocean to help me.
First of all, the ocean is terrifying. I don't think I would survive.
Don't get me started on the ocean.
Yeah, I don't know if I would survive. If we've ever seen like Castaway and he is just stuck in the middle of an ocean.
Yeah.
You know, like that stresses me out. I would not be well. But okay. So majority of the team would not survive. The seniors, Janae and Lauren, would. Noted. Best food place in Austin that you guys have experienced.
Mine would be this place called Lynn. It's a Vietnamese restaurant on 6th Street.
Lynn. Okay.
Yeah. So it's really good, authentic Vietnamese food. They serve like little dumplings and things, like steamed dumplings. And it's really a good restaurant.
I love that you just thought of that like right off of the top of your head. Is that what you're about to go eat?
Like I would go there like every weekend if I could, but yeah, it's really good dinner.
Okay. Lynn.
Yeah.
Vietnamese.
I would say Matzo Rancho or Gloria's. I
Matzo Rancho?
I only say that because I like the experience. The atmosphere is fun. Like, I don't know, the tips are gigantic. I love that. Their drinks are good.
You're allowed to say.
I mean, it's fun to go with a big group of people. Also, Gloria's, I go there all the time at the Domain specifically because then you can just go walk around after. But I always find myself going to the exact same restaurant every single time. I don't branch out enough. I find something I like and I'm like, let's go there every time. Never go around that, but I need to be better about that.
I feel like I'm the same way too. I'm very much of a routine type of person. But the reason why I have to give you a hard time about Matzo Rancho is because on the Jake Majors interview, he just told me that he loves Matzo Rancho, whatever. And then I told him I never had it. And the people dragged me, like the Orangebloods members are like still currently dragging me. And they're telling me what to order. And there have been some people saying like, oh, it's overrated. Like, it's just the atmosphere that's really good. And also, I don't like Gloria's. Oh. I don't like Latin food. And everybody wants to have their birthday dinner there.
Yeah, it's good.
Why?
I don't like Glorious. Sorry, I said it. And look, they're gonna keep dragging me, and it's fine.
It's fine.
But Oregon versus Austin food, because I just left Oregon back in June, and I was there for like a week. Lauren, I was ready to go.
Oh, I feel you. I transferred. I'm just kidding. I love Oregon. Oregon has interesting food. It's not my favorite. There's a lot of Thai restaurants. Quite a few.
That's what I was about to ask. Like, what's their specialty? Because Austin is like tacos and taco trucks.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, like, I don't think Oregon necessarily has a specialty. So there's a lot of average restaurants. I do like the restaurant Sabai. That's like my favorite restaurant to go to with my family. But it's so many chain restaurants. Like there's Olive Garden and BJ's and just the basics. So it's not necessarily anything great.
Really? We didn't get to experience any of those. I guess because we were like right in the middle of Eugene at the Graduate, like in the city. So there was nothing familiar around us.
I mean, on campus, there's quite a few options. There's like Tracktown Pizza, which is good.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, the track team is amazing at Oregon. And so that's kind of a cool atmosphere too to go to. But there's also good drink places. Dutch Bros is great. But I think there's now one in Texas.
Bros. I did go to Dutch Bro.
Dutch
I
Bros.
did. Yeah, the coffee was really good there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I really don't have to say much, Janae. Because Houston, Texas...
Right, you can't go.
Okay, cool. As long as we're here for that, Houston, Texas. But I saw. Okay, you're from Humble, correct? Yeah. I just need to tell you, like, it's hot.
Yes,
Houston, and I don't know if people fully like grasp that. We had nationals there. This was before I got to college, like Junior Olympics, and I remember it distinctively because it was actually the one that I won. And I'm literally coming off of the track and they're putting like sponges on my neck so that we won't pass out. And I'm like, we're 13 and 14 years old and we could have like a heat stroke out here. The air was so thick.
The humidity is so bad. Like,
it's absolutely horrendous. Like going from Austin to Houston is like night and day. Like it's freaking flooding in Houston right now and it's fine in Austin. I don't know what Houston has going on. I don't know what it is. But, okay, you guys just told me that your scrimmage was canceled. I was about to get into that a little bit. But what are you most excited for now since this has been pushed back? Did you guys, like, that was a good thing for you guys? How did you feel about that, actually?
I think it was probably a good thing for us just because we can start team practices now on Monday and more hours in the week for us to be together as a team and practice together. So just to get more prepared to start the fall season.
Oh, so you guys haven't started team practices?
Right.
It's only been like positions practices?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So you guys when did y'all start?
4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, 3 to 4 weeks ago.
So that was still kind of, also like in August, y'all started. Oh, okay. So do the scrimmages feel like games? Because we don't have scrimmages on the track team.
Yeah.
It's either you're slow or you're not right now. We don't have those.
I think our scrimmages, we don't really call them scrimmages. Like they're fall games and we kind of just treat them like a game. But I totally agree that it's a good thing maybe that it got pushed back. Not going to lie to you. I told some of my teammates, I was like, we're going to look like the Bad News Bears out here, like running around, not knowing like each other's strengths, not knowing each other's arm strengths, like who does what well, because we haven't been around each other that much. And so I think it was kind of a blessing in a way that it got pushed back a little bit so that we can look a little more presentable when we play.
I understand that. Things like that they happen like right on time because when COVID first hit, as unfortunate as it was, I was off of social media during that time because it's around indoor nationals. I just like to stay off of social media. So I didn't really, I know it sounds crazy, but I didn't really hear about COVID for real. Or I just kind of looked at it like it was just a joke because you know how Twitter is. Like they turn jokes in about everything. So and I was like, they might cancel. Like we're literally in New Mexico at nationals at the warm-up track. I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Yeah, they're saying they're gonna shut us down. They just shut basketball down because all these COVID outbreaks. And I was just, you don't really believe it until it really happens. And I kid you not, the man came on the intercom and was like, everybody go home. And I was like, we were like, what do you mean go home? We just got here. And it just, everything was canceled. And then like in March, it was just kind of like, well, I guess we'll go back home. Like I was like, I guess I'll go home to Georgia. And we just didn't really believe that it was going to stay. And then a month went by, and then 2 months went by, and then 6 went by. And we were like, oh, this is a thing for real. And I say all that to say, I was actually injured the COVID year. So like while everybody else was like really, really upset and crying, like I kid you not, like bawling their eyes out at nationals, I was just kind of like, because I'm in a boot over here. I really was not ready. I was going to make it work, but it kind of was a blessing in disguise. So the game for you guys did feel a little close, especially since you said that y'all haven't even had team practice yet. That's soon. The fact that soccer is like deep in their matches gives me anxiety. So sometimes these things help. They help. But what team is not scheduled on the list this year, or just in general, that you guys have kind of been like itching to play? It could be, if you were at Oregon too, like just a team that you've just never gotten to play and you really want to.
I think the team that I believe we're playing them this year, I would say I'm most excited to play Alabama, just because the last 2 years we've been scheduled to play them and it's gotten canceled. One was because of COVID, that we were leaving on a flight to Alabama the day that COVID canceled our season. Like
everybody else has a different story.
Yeah. My bags are packed in my trunk. I think my bag stayed packed in my trunk for like months after. I was like, I refuse to believe it. Like our flight's delayed. We'll be there soon. But so we didn't get to end up playing Alabama. They were supposed to come to us a year. It didn't happen.
And the snow.
Yeah, the snowstorm.
Yeah.
So it's just like craziness that's made it so we couldn't play
them. What's the odds?
I know, right? We also played them in super regionals at Alabama my first year here, and ended up being 1 game away from the World Series, and they won. So a little bit of...
So we kind of have that rivalry with Alabama, and we get to play them here this year. So we're looking forward to
it. That's so random. I wasn't expecting Alabama.
Yeah.
I like that. It's absolutely a rival now.
Oh, totally.
What's the date on that? I can look it up. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
I don't even know.
I should not have put you guys on the spot. But will you guys be attending the game Saturday?
Football game?
Yes. Yeah. We like night games or during the day games more?
I say night just because it's not as hot out there while you're sitting
in the
stands. Yeah. So
absolutely night.
I'm a night fan.
I think I like night too. I will say 7:00 is a little late. It's a little late. Like they couldn't have done like maybe 5.
Yeah.
And then we could have gotten it done at 9. But it's cool. It's cool. And then Texas Tech is at 11 a.m. So, I mean, that's even better. It's fun. But thank you guys for joining me. I feel like I learned a lot about Janae and Lauren. We have a long year ahead of us. Honestly, and we're going to get into it. I'm going to be using softball slang. I kid you not. What's the date? At least by the end of September.
All right.
I'm going to get better.
Yeah.
Just correct me. We're going to study together and everything. But please like, comment, and subscribe to the Texas Orangebloods YouTube channel. It's really good to see women athletics on the YouTube channel now, because that's what I'm all here for. So it's really great. And it was good having you guys too.
Thank you for having us.
And we're going to get some show names too. So be thinking about show names for your show and your show. And then when you guys, when you guys collab, the J&L. Perfect.
And
Janae made a TikTok, so please follow her on TikTok.
Yeah,
Janae Jefferson 02.
Janae Jefferson 02. Perfect. Thank you.